Prayer will be led by Mr. Newman. Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Mrs. Brotherton.
Just very quickly, thank you, President Cheatham. Fantastic crowd out here tonight. Welcome to you. We do have one great concern. You know, we've been talking about our warehouse manager now for a couple of years, Jimmy Boyd, who has been fighting a form of lymphoma, and it's been an up and down situation with him for a couple of years, and he's kind of taken a turn for the worse, and they've got one more treatment that they would like to try, and by the end of this week, maybe tomorrow, and so forth. And he's going through a lot of difficulties, he and his family, so we definitely want to keep them in our prayers. And the rest of our school family, obviously, that may be hurting tonight in different ways, so we want to keep all of our school family in our prayers. Thank you.
Please bow your head. Dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you, Lord, and give you thanks for allowing us the opportunity to gather as a board, dear Lord. And we ask that you guide us in our thoughts and actions, that we do your work for the betterment of each and every student in this parish, dear Lord. We just ask that you be with each member as they go about their business, dear Lord, and bless you in all their works. Heavenly Father, we ask that you look over the Boyd family, be with Jimmy as he goes through this additional treatment, dear Lord. We ask that you be with him in grace and honor, dear Lord, that we know you have the ultimate plan. We don't know it, but we know that you have the ultimate plan in mind in Jimmy's place in this world of ours, dear Lord. We thank you for yesterday, we thank you for today, and we thank you for tomorrow, for you have blessed us with each one of those, dear Lord. We pray these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1.02, approval of the minutes of the regular session of the board for January 10th, 2019.
So moved.
Second. A motion by Ms. Darby, a second by Mr. Bullard. Please vote. Motion carries. Item 1.03, approval of the minutes of the special session of the board for January 14th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Wiggins and a second by Ms. Smith. Please vote. Motion carries. Item 1.04, approval of the agenda for the regular session of the board for January 17th, 2018.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Ms. Brotherton, a second by Ms. Darby. Please vote. Motion carries. Item 2.01, recognitions. BPS Good News, presented by Sonia Bales, Public Relations Liaison.
Good evening, President Cheatham, Superintendent Smith, to all of our board members and all of our audience here tonight. We are so glad to have such a big crowd here with us this evening because we have so many reasons to celebrate here in Bossier Parish. A lot of great things have been happening over the last month that celebrates our schools as well as the outstanding educators that make Bossier Schools the highly acclaimed, internationally accredited school district that it is. It begins with our children at a very early age. As part of the Early Childhood Community Network, Bossier Schools partners with the publicly funded child care centers in our area to ensure that our little ones receive the instruction that they need to thrive from the first day of kindergarten and beyond. You know, early education is critical to successful student outcomes, and there are two community partners of ours that recently received honors for their hard work. So here to tell us more about that and to recognize these child care providers is Kathy Martin, Title I Instructional Coordinator. If you'll please welcome her, Ms. Martin.
Superintendent Mr. Smith, School Board President
Mr. Cheatham, and school board members. I'm Kathy Martin, and I work with Linda Thorne Lewis and Dr. Nicole Bourgeois. I am representing the lead agency for the Bossier Early Childhood Community Network that consists of partners serving publicly funded birth to 5 children. Our partners are Bossier Head Start, Bossier Early Head Start, Child Care Centers, and all pre-K classes within Bossier schools. In November 2018, the Louisiana Department of Education announced nearly 300 early childhood education programs had earned a spot in the state's honor roll because of high performances during their school year 2017-18. We applaud the sites that achieved remarkable success that year for providing families, particularly those of economically disadvantaged, with access to high-quality care and for acting as models for excellence and growth. Our first award goes to All About Kids Child Care Center. They were awarded the 2017-2018 Top Gains Honor Roll. Sites on this list significantly improved their performance from one year to the next. On behalf of the Bossier Early Childhood Community Network Lead Agency, I would like to present this award to All About Kids. Representing All About Kids is Janine Johnson. And if you would like to introduce the people that came with you that made this honor possible.
Julia Lloyd. Ben Johnson. We want to thank NSU too, as well.
Yes, NSU, they did a huge part in coaching and always being there for us anytime we needed help.
Well, we appreciate your hard work.
Thank you very much.
Our second award goes to the Bossier Office of Community Services Early Head Start. They were awarded the 2017-2018 Birth to 3 Honor Roll. Sites on this list provided high-quality instruction and care to the state's youngest learners, children birth through age 3. This is significant because Louisiana serves far fewer economically disadvantaged children birth through age 3, and the early childhood sites typically score low in performance categories related to these age groups. On behalf of the Bossier Early Childhood Community Network Lead Agency, I would like to present this award to the Bossier Office of Services, Bossier Office of Community Services Early Head Start. Representing them is Deborah Hamilton and Tony Lanier.
Ms. Janice Bryant Woods, could you please come up? Christina Moore, Jeanette Anderson, Arlene Anderson, Catherine Dupree, and other support staff, Michelle Hopkins, Virginia Hudson. Okay.
The last thing I would like to add is, you know how the schools get report cards? Well, now early childhood is getting performance profiles, which is equivalent to our report cards. So we're being held accountable just like everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Martin, and congratulations again to the Bossier Office of Community Services Head Start program and All About Kids Child Care Center. Well, Legacy Elementary had something really big to celebrate last month, and they did so with an all-out party. I'd like to ask Principal Kimmy Smith and Assistant Principal Kelly Ogilvie to make their way forward. After all the votes were counted, the December issue of SB Magazine came out, and guess who was named the best public school in Northwest Louisiana, but none other than Legacy Elementary. That is for the entire area that SB Magazine covers, not just, Bossier. And as a nod to their victory, Principal Kimmy Smith and Assistant Principal Kelly Ogilvie popped the cork to a bottle of confetti, and it was on at the school. The Legacy Bears really enjoyed their day. They participated in celebration rotation, complete with carnival-style games, musician, bounce houses, face painting, Sonic slushes, score on that, hot dogs, all kinds of other treats, and just an all-out wonderful day. They know how to throw a party at Legacy. Let me just say, one mother, in fact, said when her child came home that day, he proudly proclaimed it the best day ever. That's big. That's big. And I want you to stay up here with me because Green Acres Middle School is also celebrating the announcement of the SB Magazine Best of Awards because one of their educators came out on top. Robert Gallant, if you would please join me. Is a science and robotics teacher at Green Acres who has legions of fans that voted him as best teacher in Northwest Louisiana. So he was surprised in his classroom with this award, and he's been working at Bossier Schools since 2009. He began with us as a substitute before graduating from Louisiana Tech and Louisiana State University. We are so proud that he decided to call Bossier Schools home and that we have him here. And in recognition of Robert Gallant and Legacy Elementary being named the best of, we have these commemorative medals for the three of you. These are awards of excellence sponsored by Caldwell Banker Gosley, and they're a token of Bossier Schools' pride in each of you, all of our educators, for making such a profound impact on our students. I wish I had enough to give to every single faculty and staff member at Legacy Elementary because you do deserve this, but these are yours vicariously through your principal and your assistant principal. I'm going to bestow these on you. It says Passion, Perseverance, and Pride 2018-19, and then Bossier Parish Schools Award of Excellence, and our motto, Inspiration, Imagination, Innovation. I don't want to mess up your hair. To Mr. Gallant. I won't mess up your hair.
I'm going to give this to you too, so you can have these courtesy of the dance awards. I have them personally.
Congratulations to y'all. The best of. I just want to take just a second. President Cheatham, Superintendent Smith, Mr. Downey, Dr. Bourgeois, thank y'all so much for all that you do to support our efforts at Legacy. And I just want to take just a second. I want everybody on my faculty that's here to please just stand, because it takes everybody. Our custodians, some of them are here tonight. Our cafeteria manager, Ms. Pat, our teachers, and just our parents and our families and our community partners. We are truly blessed. So thank you so much.
I just wanted to quickly thank the teachers that came out tonight, the ones I've worked with in the past and currently working with. I'd also like to thank my family, my mother and father, who are both retired educators, my sister, who's currently teaching at Benton Middle School, my wife, who's currently teaching at Benton High School, it comes with plenty of experience watching them teach and my peers that I've worked with over the years. And I want to thank everybody for this award. It was really an honor to represent not just Green Acres Middle School, but also Bossier Parish. So thank you.
We've always said Bossier Schools is a family, and it is all in the family. Someone else who definitely makes a difference is none other than 2019 Louisiana State Teacher of the Year, Mr. Spencer Kuiper. His accolades have not stopped since being named Teacher of the Year, and his journey has only gotten more exciting and taken him to far away places. Pick up a copy of Louisiana Life magazine, and there you will find Mr. Kuiper gracing one of the pages in there. He has been named one of 9 Louisianans of the Year for 2019. That's entire state. He's one of 9 that has been chosen because he is absolutely tremendous. Let's give him, first of all, a big round of applause. Pretty cool picture too, isn't it? As you know, he is an award-winning STEM educator at Elm Grove Middle School who also educates our teachers over the summers at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville, Alabama. So he's truly like, a rock star STEM educator. Most recently, his passion for STEM led him to Abu Dhabi, where he just returned from the 2nd time last week. Yes, traveling all the way from Dubai back to here. And he is here tonight to catch you up on happenings in his capacity as Louisiana State Teacher of the Year. So if you will, please help me welcome Spencer Kuiper.
Hey everybody. How's it going? As all of you know, my name is Spencer Kuiper, and I'm the 2019 Louisiana State Teacher of the Year. And back in July, the big announcement kind of came with a lot of stress because it was going to be a lot of time out of my classroom for my kids. I really didn't know what was going to happen. And so luckily, after conversations with Superintendent Smith and various school board members, Bossier Schools agreed to make an investment in my adventure to allow me to have a co-teacher throughout this entire year. And so what that has enabled me to do is take what we do here in Bossier and take it to all sorts of places, not only across the United States, but around the world as well. So tonight I asked Sonia to not recognize me for that article, but to just give me the mic for just a moment to brief all of you about the return on this investment that Bossier Schools has made. And so we're about halfway through the school year, and I thought it was appropriate for me to address the superintendent, president of the board, and then the rest of the board members on that investment. And so it started in August of 2018. I was requested to go to the Middle East to spread what we do here in Bossier and work with a company called STEM Revolution to build capacities in educators across the world. So along with that came the responsibility of also ensuring that the opportunities here in Bossier were guaranteed for my students, and then also to figure out what my life was going to be like as a State Teacher of the Year. And through that, I traveled to the Middle East, was able to work with State Teacher of the Year Joni Reed Smith, who was 2017 Louisiana State Teacher of the Year, and then educators from 5 other states to deliver quality STEM education and practices to Emirati teachers. That was a transformative experience for me, and has changed the teacher that I am to the children who I'm able to work with here in Bossier Schools. So with that, building capacities in other educators, Mr. Cameron Beckett, who isn't here this evening, but he is my co-teacher. We've taught together for years, and one thing that one of my goals for this year was to help him build a new skill set, specifically in the areas of science, technology, and engineering and math. And so together, between the two of us, I have an English certification and a biology certification. He's got a math certification and a social studies certification. So between the two of us, we've had to figure out what to do with the kids to really kind of build a whole child approach. And so we decided to implement a curriculum called Big History Project, which was new to our district. And we've seen some incredible things, which I'll share in just a few moments. I was also asked to sit on the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education's Educator Effectiveness Committee, which to me is an incredible opportunity, not only for me as a teacher, but also a resident here in the Parish. Actually, I live in Caddo, but I teach here. And so, sitting on that committee, I'm able to not only serve as a voice for educators, but also to deliver what I see are the best interests for our students and for our teachers here in the Northwest Louisiana region. A few other things, just kind of making sure that the State Teacher of the Year is visible. I was able to be honored at the LSU game, where the coolest opportunity, and just a little side story, I heard screaming from a certain section, like from the side, and I look over and it's like 15 of the kids that I taught my first year teaching, and I almost started crying right there. Yeah, it was quite incredible. So then, as far as building, continuing the theme of building capacities in other educators, I was able to encourage educators not only within my school, but also across the district and various parts of the state to take up action into what we can control, not only in our classrooms, but also further out as well. And so I'm happy to report that not one, not two, three, but 4 people at my school are currently working with Stand for Children to advocate not only for policy, but also for teacher pay raises, for quality early childhood education, and various other issues that we as teachers can use our expertise to leverage change that we think should happen. I've been able to travel across the state in my capacity, and one thing that I always like to do is I grab 2 dozen Southern Made donuts and travel to various parts of the state, and I drop in at schools and visit with teachers and listen to issues. And so without this opportunity, without the investment that Bossier's made, I would have a very kind of closed-minded perspective just with what I've been able to experience here in this region of the state. So with that, I've been very fortunate to visit with teachers and to listen to issues from all across the state. Now, where do we go kind of from here? And so it's January in this journey, and everything kind of kicks up starting in the next few weeks. Oh, I jumped ahead, I apologize. So one of the things that we decided to really kind of take a look at is the impact that we're making with our students. So Mr. Beckham and I work very closely together with content teachers at Elmgrove Middle School to figure out how STEM can bolster the efforts of not only Eureka Math, but also some of the springboard things that our Algebra 1 kids are doing, and then also the new science curriculum standards and Guidebook 2.0. Staying with the theme of building capacities in other educators, I'm happy to report that working with Mr. Beckham and various other teachers, we are now have added, tentatively added, because he has a few more things to do before he's officially announced, but we now have 2 more Google certified trainers for our district, which brings our complement from 2 to 4. Some of the things that we've been able to see from our students. We assess our students using culminative writing tasks. That's one of the deliverables that our STEM students are expected to be able to achieve. We assess our students using a very rigorous rubric that is more aligned to a more high school standard. What we've been able to see is we've been able to see gains in not only reading comprehension, but also writing. And it's been incredible to see the gains that our students, our STEM students, have been able to make over the course of this year. So what is this going to look like in the next coming months? And so those are 56 other educators from all 50 states and 7 various territories. And I know that some of you are history teachers that we don't have 7 territories, but the Department of Defense and various other entities that the United States represents. So I get to travel with these fantastic people for the next coming months, and it's going to be quite incredible. On the screen now is the list of events. Some of these would be very, very, very stressful to plan for if I didn't have the investment from Bossier Schools. And so I'm able to have the latitude to go and travel and do these amazing things because of the investment that Bossier Schools has made. Not only me as a teacher, but also it's given me an amazing skill set and perspective just growing up here and being able to bring that little piece of Bossier with me this entire way. And so you'll notice on the screen that everything kicks off at Google next month here in February. Followed shortly by going to the White House and being honored in the Oval Office by the President, as well as the Vice President Pence at the Vice President's residence. Traveling this summer to possibly Switzerland and Germany to bring even more of Bossier with me across the world. And then learning more about education policy in Denver, Colorado. I do get to stop off at Space Camp again. That's going to be really fun. I haven't had enough of that place yet. And then October for next steps at Princeton University, where we will figure out how to continue to reach as many educators in as many classrooms as possible. And that last one is going to be kind of fun, and I'm pretty sure the board members are going to be kind of jealous of this. I only get 2 tickets. I'm sorry, don't beg me. The college playoff game. All of the state teachers of the year get honored at the college playoff game. And that's going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is going to be pretty awesome to show all the state teachers of the year through the various aspects of New Orleans. So it's going to be really fun. Why are you laughing? So, the gist of everything is I wanted to come here today to really say thank you for the investment. It has been an adventure so far, but it's going to be even more incredible, not only for me, but also the teachers I'm able to elevate and to work with, and all the experiences that my students get to experience along with me. So thank you for your time, and board, thank you, Mr. Smith, and take care. See you later.
You said you want to take a little of Bossier schools with you to Germany and Switzerland. I think you might have a lot of volunteers out in the audience. That is phenomenal. And you know, what's so cool is he's one of our own. He's from here at Bossier Schools, representing us not just throughout the state, but throughout the nation and the world. And I can't think of a better representative. I'm not letting you off that easily, though. As we mentioned, he's one of 9 Louisianans of the Year. And I think that also deserves an award of excellence. I don't think you have one of these just yet. For 2019, you might. But if you'll please come back up here. Congratulations. We continue to be so proud. Now from the classroom to the baseball diamond. Airline High School Athletic Coordinator Ronnie Coker has had many career highs, but one that happened this past weekend might just be the pinnacle. He was inducted into the 2019 Louisiana Baseball Coaches Association Hall of Fame. That is a huge honor, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Coker has been involved in athletics with Bossier Schools for the last 23 years, and he worked in 2 other school systems prior to that before sliding into home plate here. Did you like that, Coach Coker? During that time, he has amassed a very impressive record. Just among some of his high points: LBCA Coach of the Year, Louisiana Sports Writers Association Coach of the Year, 2-time state champion, all-star head coach and coordinator, Shreveport Times Coach of the Year, member of the Louisiana High School Athletic Association, and many, many more. And then, as I mentioned, last Saturday in Baton Rouge, Coach Coker was recognized among the 2019 class of inductees, there were only 5 of them, in the LBCA Hall of Fame, and recognized for his lifetime of achievements. And something that spoke volumes about him is the relationships that he has built over the course of his career. And several of his former players, you may have been seeing it scroll behind me, made the trip down south to help him celebrate and to honor him. I would like to ask Coach Ronnie Coker to please come forward. That is a huge honor. We are so proud. We want to give this to you to go along with the very impressive plaque that you received. And I'd like to give you the chance if you'd like to say a few words too. I'll put you on the spot, but you do not have to.
Well, no, I'd like to. Thank you, Sonia. First, Eric, y'all don't know this, but Jimmy Boyd is in a fight for his life. He's also my father-in-law. And we just got great news right there while my wife was on stuff. I wasn't on stuff. But my wife just got a message from Laney, Miss Laney Boyd, her mom. Talking about the stem cells have arrived in the house at MD Anderson, and it looks like he's going to be able to get his second round of stem cells tomorrow. So thank you. Eric, thank you so much. And Sonia hit it best. I mean, this is a family. This parish is a family. From President Cheatham, Mr. Smith, Thank you for y'all's leadership, because this really is a family. Kenny Smith, or Kenny, thank you so much, because my son back there he is a bear. He went to Legacy Elementary. So teachers, thank you so much for everything that you do on a daily basis for our future. I appreciate you. I just want to introduce, I'm hurrying and signing. I just want to introduce some of the people that's here, or the people that are here. Stephen Boyd, you don't have to come down, Stephen. That's Nate Dog Coker back there. That's my senior and airline son. That's Brian Garrett. Brian, I know you're not going to stand. There you go. In front of them is Katie Boyd, my sister-in-law, my unbelievable niece right there, Maggie Boyd, my incredible, I don't know what she is kin to me, but Aunt maybe, Dana Howard, and my absolutely drop-dead gorgeous wife is Kelly Coker. And this young lady right here in the third row, Miss Sandra Pena, thank you for everything you do, Sandra. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to me. And Sonia talked about former players being there. The guy that just dropped his phone, I probably heard it. He played for us 93 to 96. That's Adam Johnson. Adam, we're not going to go there. Hey, this young lady right in front of him, about 15 feet, gave me the opportunity at Parkway High School as a little rugrat. I was 22, 23, I don't know, it was a long time ago. Gave me the opportunity. That's Betty McCauley. I owe you everything. Mama is what I refer to you as. But thank you so much, Mr. Downing. Thank you, Dr. Bourgeois. Hey, thank all y'all again. Thank you so much.
I'd like to make a comment. I met Ronnie Coker 28 years ago, right when he was probably about the time he was starting at Parkway. I never played baseball for him because they ran too much. I played basketball. But I tell you, I watched the video of when he was inducted this past weekend, and he said a quote, and I'm probably going to butcher it, so I might ask him to say it. But he talked to, tell me again what a coach. Tell me your quote about how many people a coach touches in a lifetime.
The late Reverend Billy Graham said that a coach will influence more people in 1 year than an average person will in a lifetime.
And I think I've heard that before, but when I was watching the video and saw Ronnie say that, I can honestly tell you, I didn't play baseball, I didn't play for him, but I looked up to him as a mentor and a coach and a person. And we've been friends and stayed in touch over the years since then. And I truly believe that. I believe you've touched more lives than you can probably imagine. People that play for you and people like me that did not play for you. And now I look back, I wish I would have wanted to run a little more. Maybe I'd played some baseball. Won a state championship while you were there at Parkway. So thank you for everything you do. And I believe without a doubt that you've touched thousands and thousands of kids' lives and made a difference. So.
Well said, President Cheatham, because that is the difference. Our educators touch lives. They form relationships. They don't just teach. They form relationships with our students. No matter if it's in the dugout or the weight room or on the sidelines, it is a calling. It is a passion for our educators. And tonight we also recognize someone who checks all those boxes, who for the most part is an unsung hero, as our instructional coaches oftentimes are across our district. But more than 24 teachers at Bossier Elementary would not let the hard work, the long hours, the sacrifices, the dedication, and the love that Jeannie Wilson puts into her job every day go by unnoticed. She is described as the backbone of Bossier Elementary. Mrs. Wilson has been with Bossier Schools since 1997, and she does everything that she can for her students and her teachers, no matter if it is after hours, if it is on weekends, if it means digging into her own pocketbook to be able to provide for them. Her colleagues say she has a servant's heart. She's always quick to come to the rescue, and they would be absolutely lost without her. Melody Polk says Mrs. Wilson goes out of her way to support teachers, even though she always has a lot on her plate at all times. Yet she never stops from coming to the rescue, whether it be a student, a para, a teacher, or administrator in need. She works tirelessly and opens the schools up on weekends to work with teachers one-on-one. And Ms. Polk went on to say her heart has always been dedicated to the students at Bossier Elementary. She works for them and she doesn't give up because she is their champion and she is our champion. Tanisha White calls her the true definition of awesome. And not once in 4 years has she ever said no to any request. She always goes above and beyond and handles all of it with love and grace and not with a single complaint. Ms. White added, Jeannie Wilson definitely deserves the Gold Star Award, and I would nominate her 1,000 more times if I could. Asked why she loves Bossier Elementary so much, and Ms. Wilson replied, I just feel like God put me here for a reason. These babies deserve someone who loves them and is going to go to bat for them, teachers too, and it is so rewarding. I love to see the light bulbs go off. It's my passion. It is her passion, and it shows in everything that she does. And it is my honor to introduce to you Bossier School's first Gold Star recipient of 2019, Miss Jeannie Wilson. Valentine to come forward. She's a Bossier Federal Credit Union, and they're the sponsors of our Gold Star program, and she has something to commemorate this occasion. Thank you.
You know how.
We also want to award this Award of Excellence to you. I'm not going to mess up your hair. I'm just going to present it to you. But we couldn't be more proud. I want to just say that she had more than 24 of her colleagues nominate her. And these were heartfelt letters about the many, many ways that she gives every day to her students and to all of her co-workers, her administrators at Bossier Elementary. She started there in 1997. And she's had the opportunity to have gone to another school had she chosen to, but that's where her heart is. It's her passion. And that's why she was proud to be a Bossier Elementary Bear Kitten and now our Gold Star. Congratulations. President Cheatham, that concludes my presentation.
Thank you very much, Sonia. We have,
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to take a moment to recognize Spencer Kuiper. He is, you see all the presentations, you hear all the good stuff, but I can vouch for the validity of everything that he is and does. I've had the pleasure of having both of my children have him as a teacher. Mine was probably one of the 15 screaming her lungs out at the LSU game from the student section when he was recognized for State Teacher of the Year, excuse me. And currently my son is in his 3rd year with Mr. Kuiper as an instructor. And I'll say this, anytime you can get a group of teenage boys that would rather go to a robotics competition than go play baseball in Dallas, Texas, you got to be doing something right. This guy's got it lined out. He is a phenomenal educator. Couldn't be happier to have him in our parish. And I ask him every time I see him, I'm like, you're not going anywhere yet, are you? We kind of had this unwritten deal that I wouldn't let him go until my last one was through Elm Grove Middle. But congratulations on all of your accomplishments. I hope that we can keep you forever and that you can continue to spread the good word of Bossier Parish Schools and everything that you do with STEM. So thank you very much.
before we move on to item 3.01, this is normally when a lot of people like to make that exit. You're welcome to do that at this time, or you're welcome to stay as well. Item 3.01, request to consider and take action with respect to adopting a resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in parish-wide school district or parish of Bossier, state of Louisiana, to authorize the levy of special taxes therein, making application to the State Bond Commission in connection therewith, and providing for other matters in connection therewith. Before we do, we have two speakers that would like to speak on item 3.01. First, Mickey Royer.
President Cheatham, Superintendent Smith. Again, I'm Mickey Royer. I'm President of Bossier Parish School Bus Operators Association and District Board Member for District 3, Northwest Louisiana. I would like to talk about the pay proposal. I don't have a dog in this fight. It will not help me a bit. But I'm talking for my bus drivers and my parish and all support personnel. If the bus drivers and the parents wasn't on that bus to get the kids to school, there would be no school. And without the mechanics to keep the buses running, what would we do? Always before, when there's been a raise given, the bus driver or support personnel gets half what the teachers do. For some reason now, it's proposed to be much lower. I think if they're going to get $7,200, I think we should get $3,600, or my bus drivers and parents and support personnel. They're asked to do a lot of extra things. There's a lot of things they don't, y'all have no idea how much time they spend working with the bus. And they're on call 24 hours a day, no matter what. In case of weather, I've been to South Louisiana when a hurricane was on the way, all kinds of things. So I think they should be considered. And the paras are least paid. They have to take care of these special needs kids while that bus driver's sitting there driving. They have to make sure there's all kinds of problems these special ed kids have. And they have to know what the specialty is and be able to take care of that child while that bus is moving and when they unload the bus, the students and everything. So I'd like you to consider that all support personnel needs at least half what the teachers get. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Royer. The next person that requested to speak is Jordan Thomas.
Good evening. I'm Jordan Thomas. I'm the Education Specialist for Red River United. According to the Louisiana Department of Education, the surrounding school districts of DeSoto, Red River, and Webster are all listed in the top 10 in teacher pay. Bossier is listed as number 45. Of all these districts listed, Bossier Parish has the highest median income. According to the U.S. Census, Bossier Parish's median income is $10,000, more than the surrounding parishes with a median income listed at $52,000. We came to you last July and provided survey results from Bossier teachers. The statistical sampling told us that 76% of Bossier teachers considered leaving the profession due to low pay. That same survey told us that the two of the highest paid in the region, Red River and DeSoto, came in well below that, with only about 56% of their teachers who considered leaving because of salaries. It is no secret, Bossier did not retain as it lost teachers to surrounding parishes and other professions. The district was challenged this year to fill every classroom with highly qualified credentialed teachers. And studies show there is a direct correlation to teacher retention and academic achievement. Academic achievement, in turn, impacts future wage earners as well as the growth and the vitality of the community. Putting all of this together and recognizing that Bossier has performed at an A level, only moving to a B rating based on a formula change, there is a compelling argument as to why the community needs to invest in its future by increasing employee pay now. How you spend your time and your money says what is important to you. Tonight, you demonstrate what is important to you. The future of the Bossier Parish community, the future of the local economy, and the future of your employees. But most importantly, the future of the education of boys and girls of Bossier Parish is your priority. The Red River United, representing Bossier teacher and school employee members, wants you to know we're all in. We will stand with you and support this board, this administration, and this district as you move to secure this historic pay raise. Thank you.
Mr. Mercer?
I would like to address Ms. Royer's 3-minute speech there. Have we run the numbers on that 50% free? Let us say 300 bus drivers, just as a round number, at the additional $600, it's an additional $180,000 to what we're currently out for. What that would do from a millage standpoint. And, you know, we've been working on this for months. We've been talking about it for years. Is it something that the board would consider running the figures on? And you know, we take care of our people the best we can. We realize we can't do this out of the general fund. And since this started, I've gotten several emails. I think we all get them. We get blanketed with emails. And to do what we're doing is going to set a standard. It's going to set us somewhat apart. In that we're making such a bold move. I had one phone call. In fact, it happened yesterday, and I was able to reach out to with concern to the increase in taxes, which is quite understandable business in our personal ad valorem. But this is a group of people that are very powerful. When I say powerful, it's almost, you know our teachers and our staff, and we got to see great presentations from our principals and how that's a family. But I'll tell you what, you know, you get with 300 bus drivers, and they haul our kids around, and the liability and what happens in those short periods of time that our kids are on those buses. You know, it kind of makes sense to me. And while we're making this investment and we're selling it to the taxpayers, when we talk in millions, and with a general fund that has grown by so many millions in the 16 years I've been here, I can't keep track. But a $180,000 investment roundabout doesn't seem too unreasonable to me. I really appreciate these people. They are sometimes the unsung hero. They're like our paraprofessionals that take care of children that sit in our regular classes and coach them through, help them through that day. I mean, sometimes I think, you know, we take for granted that behind the scenes people, the little man makes the big man look good. And I just throw that out there. I know this is kind of last minute, and I know we want to move forward to take action to call a special election, but it seems to me like what we're asking for in the scheme of the millions of dollars that it's going to take to do this, that $180,000 increase in what we're asking our people for seems very reasonable to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mercer.
I did tell what Mr. Mercer just said, because it's not always the big people. We want to take care of everybody in the parish, not just the teachers. Of course, we've been on this road a long time trying to make sure that our teachers are up to par, but we also want to make sure that the bus drivers and the cafeteria workers, they all are taken care of as well, because they have families too. And I know from firsthand, as for the bus driver, I have a relative that drives the bus, and I never thought about it, but she was telling me a couple of years ago, she was like, you know, the kids get on the bus, we make their day. Either when they get on the bus, they could be sad or they don't want to go to school or whatever. We talk to them. We make sure that you know they're okay, and we gotta take them. They're our precious cargo. We have to make sure that they're safe, and for that, and also the cafeteria workers that feed them. I think that we should look at making sure that they're taken care of as well.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the short, the fat, the skinny, and the tall. Mike Mr. and Ms. Robert just said it all. I don't know about you, but as for me, I fully agree. Let's get it done. Thank you.
Number that Mr. Musor threw out, I think that was targeted to a certain group of individuals. I think if we look at all personnel, that it's going to be more like $750,000, just off the top of my head. If you were asking Mr. Ruggio if he has any idea of what that would be, to look at that just so that we can kind of know. I think it's going to be quite considerable, more than $150,000.
That was just for the budget.
I know, but we can't do just one group of people.
Mr. Ruggio?
So I don't have the exact information that we need to be able to calculate this. We've worked on it for a long time. If somebody would have called me ahead of time, I could have had it for you tonight. But just roughly working some numbers in my head. If I understand what you're asking for, it would be all support personnel, additional $600, and $3,600. Just right off the top of my head, I think we probably have about 1,000 people that would affect, so about $600,000. Let's see. About $6 million, I believe, is what we need to be. So that's going to be about another 6 mils that you have to add to the number that we had. So about 29 mils is where we would be on that. And that's just rough. I'd have to look at each individual and run the numbers on that to be able to make that work, to get you an accurate number. But just for the sake of looking at it tonight, that's what I believe it would be.
Thank you. And I will probably be the first one that doesn't get a clap tonight. The last few commented people got a clap. We have been working on this for quite some time, and I truly believe our two biggest issues right now as a parish, and I said this in my speech at the last meeting, is right now we cannot keep and we cannot hire and retain teachers. To me, that's the number one concern right here. Yes, is every employee in our parish important and special? Absolutely. If I had an open checkbook, I'd love to give everybody $10,000 across the board. But we're in a tricky slope here. We're gonna go to our parish with this tax that's gonna make a lot of people upset. But at the same time, we're gonna fight like heck to let them know that the reason the property value and the reason people are moving to Bossier Parish is because of our schools being phenomenal. And we're gonna have to fight. The second category on top of the teachers, we're struggling hiring bus drivers. So when we started looking at this raise, we wanted to get the bus drivers to where we paid our teachers competitive with DeSoto and these other parishes, and our bus drivers. And that's two areas that we've been struggling in. And this raise, the way we've discussed it and the way we've talked about it, at the $7,200 and the $3,000 addresses that. Do I believe that we'll have to come back and address some other salary things? I mean, again, my personal opinion is our classroom is where the raises are really needed. Now, we have very important people that are in curriculum, that are sitting in central office doing things, and all this stuff ties together to make us as good of a parish as we are. But the way we have this currently set at $7,200 and $3,000 puts us at, I believe, 81 mills. It's the highest parish in the state of Louisiana. And as we sit here tonight and we let our feelings come out, see, this is one thing, this is why I've always said, let's not vote the same night we hear something. Because we start feeling, and we speak with our heart more than we speak with what we can do as a parish. And we're already at 7,200 and 3,000. It's going to be a tough sell. I was sitting here thinking if we can get all of our employees out there and get them fired up and excited about this raise, we can get it passed. And then I saw Spencer Kuiper lives in Caddo. I'm like, well, that's one less. So Spencer's going to have to work hard to get us some more votes. And then I started thinking we got other candidates that work in Bossier and live in Caddo. I would love to be able to give 3,600, and I would love to that minimum option that was on the table before tonight. I would love to be able to give 14%, 16% that were the other options. But when it comes down to it, what are we addressing with this? We're addressing teacher pay. So my fourth grader doesn't lose his teacher the second week of school when she just walked out. She was a brand new teacher. She bought up, maybe she wasn't prepared, maybe she wasn't ready, maybe we failed her. I don't know what the answer was to that. But maybe if she had that higher pay, maybe if she had the support system, we wouldn't have that happen. We had to hire almost 200 teachers this last year with retirements and people leaving. Teachers, to me, is the most important thing right now to make sure they're in the classroom. Not that the other people aren't important, but the teachers and then the bus drivers. Right now, I share once a week on my Facebook page that we're hiring bus drivers. Okay? Sonia shares it. We've got to hire bus drivers. We've got to hire teachers, and we've got to retain our teachers. We've got to keep them. I would, again, love to give this money to everybody, from your parent, your custodian, all the way up to Miss McCauley, who earns every dollar she's made. I would love for everybody to get more money. But at the same time, we have to be fiscally responsible, and we have to put something out there to the public that we can all support and that we can all gain votes on. So Mr. Masura, I agree with you. I do. But at the same time, not knowing what the millage would be, knowing that it would be more, I might be the only one that feels this way, and if that's so, it is what it is. But we've got to address, we've got to get fired up. We've got to have our teachers fired up, our bus drivers fired up, all of our employees fired up. And I know they'd be real fired up if everybody got a $20,000 raise. Man, everybody, but we can't do that. And we have to be responsible with the taxpayer money. We have to make sure that we are something that's feasible and something that we can do.
Mr. President. Mr. Bullard. Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with calling a special election for the purpose of levying 22.94 mills for the purpose of funding pay raises at the rate of 3,000 support, 7,200 certified, and 3.22 mills to fund enhancement of our IT infrastructure.
Have a motion?
Second that motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Bullard, second by Mr. Newman. We'll take more comments before we vote. Mr. Wiggins was next, and you'll be next, Mr. Walkout.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Smith and Mr. Russo have done a phenomenal job in getting this together to present to us, and I appreciate it and I commend them highly. However, after listening to a lot of calls, a lot of emails, and thinking about this thing, and you're right, I understand, this is great. I've been here 21 years sitting on this board, longer than anybody here. Each time we try to put something forward, there's always reservations. Or the public's not going to do it. It's going to be this problem. It's going to be that problem. And some of it is true. But I'm telling you, Bossier has great pride. I mean, the people who have to make the payments, the people who own the houses, the nice houses, and the businesses, they don't like it, but they like what they get for their money. I'm telling you, if we do the best we can for all our people, and I'm hoping we can go back and revisit this and get that $600 extra per hour support personnel. I spent 21 years in the Air Force. The pilots, without them, we can't do the bombing, we can't fight. But guess what? The planes don't fly. They don't get up without support personnel. And without other things like that, you have to have everybody involved. And $600, I don't believe will kill us. Millers will be a little bit high. Bossier residents will vote for this. There's no doubt in my mind. I've seen it happen again and again and again. Experience means something. I've been here. Let's do what's right and it'll pass. There's no doubt in my mind about it. Thank you, Mr.
I agree with Ms. Smith. There's a lot of groups that deserve $600 more a month. So we could argue that for a while. The problem I have is that we've got gaps between different pay categories. We want to give $3,000 for somebody, and we want to give up $7,200. I'm kind of leaning more towards a flat rate. If you're a teacher and you're making $20,000 more than I am as a mechanic, whatever the case may be, if we have a flat rate, that percentage is going to stay the same. I'll jump up 5,000 or whatever the case is, and you'll jump up 5,000. And we go across the board. I'm not saying that one group's more valuable than the other. And this may not address the fact that we're trying to retain teachers, but there's other ways to do that. But if you give them $5,000 on the whatever this beginning salary is, that's going to be quite an incentive. I think that we need to concentrate a little bit more on the teachers in the classroom, bus drivers, mechanics, and everybody. And the only way we can do that is knock that down from 7,200 down to 5,000 and give it to everybody and keep the percentage the same. A person making more money than I make, he deserves a raise, but so does that guy making whatever beginning custodian. I agree with what you're saying about the bus driver, but I agree with the mechanic. I agree with the carpenter. I agree with the whole group. The only way we can do that is to lower it from 7,200 down. I believe it straight across, whether it be 4,000 or 5,000, and I wish we could consider that before we do anything major. You're not getting any less money than you would be making, because the percentage is the same. If that makes sense, if I'm explaining myself. But anyway,
Thank you, Mr. Rockhouse. At this time, we have a motion and a second. If there's not any more comments, we will vote. Motion carries. Item 3.02, approval for trip requests. Before we move on to item 3.03, to Mr. Bamberg, who's asked to make a comment.
I just want to comment that I actually have a bus aide that works in my office every day. And what our support staff does for this parish, I don't want this to be seen as a negative when we're out there trying to get this bond proposal passed. So what I guess, I spoke to her about it and kind of told her what we were looking at, and she was excited that she could be about it. And she's like, man, this is awesome that we would be included in this, because realistically, the whole conversation came up because we lost so many teachers. Because we couldn't keep up with our teachers, and we were replacing them, they were leaving, and they were going across parish lines to go teach at other places and live in Bossier. That's not Bossier Parish schools, people. This is Bossier Parish, and people that live in Bossier Parish, that are teachers, should teach in Bossier Parish. We should have the finest teachers in our area coming to our district to teach. So the whole premise behind the pay raise is we got to figure out something to fix that problem. And then furthermore, the board said, well, the other people are important in this conversation. So we can't just fix this problem and leave all these other people that are so important to the conversation. And that's when we said, well, let's look at a number for that keeps our millages something we can control, and something we think that we can get out there and tell the public that this is a value to this millage that we're going to ask you to pay is going to be valuable to your home values, to your businesses, to this and that. So I do not want to take away the importance of this raise to our support staff across this parish, because you're right. If we can't transport them to the classroom, we can't teach them. If we can't love them on the way there, if we can't, my employee works with special needs children every day. That's a special human being. Special human being. So I do not want this to be a negative thing across the parish of, I don't know, I would ask that the support staff say, let's be proud of our school board for including in this conversation, because you should be included. And you probably should be included at 7,200, but it's not feasible to get past the tax voters. And so, like Mr. Cheatham said, they said, hey, let's get our teachers. And really, we looked at a number to get our 0 to 10-year teachers in line with other parishes around us. And then we said, what does it take to get the bus drivers in line with the people around the parishes around us as well? And that's how we came up with the numbers that we came up with. Is it enough? It's not enough for our teachers. It's not enough for our support staff. But I think it's something viable, palatable, that we can go to the taxpayers and say, you know what, you love Bossier schools? Go push yes. And I don't think we need any negativity, and I surely hope that you don't see this as a board that says we don't think there's value except in the classroom, because every meeting we're talking about this family of Bossier Parish, and we truly feel that way. And my heart, and I know everybody else's heart up here, is to say, you know what, every person that touches a kid or tells somebody how to run a classroom and do this, they're all important to this whole family of Bossier Parish schools. So, this is going to be a tough vote, and I know the people here that came to listen to this have a vested interest in this conversation that we're having tonight. And I would hope, my hope is, and I know the board's hope it is, and to be honest, your hope, everybody in this room better be, let's go out there and be positive about this. Let's don't get out there and talk negative and go, man, do you believe with the school board we brought this up? He brought out even, man, I love the even. I love that deal, right? But I think we need to walk out here and say, let's go get our community to get behind this raise. Let's get it done. We get one shot. One shot, ladies and gentlemen. And if we go out there and we're negative to any human being that listens to you on Facebook, on Instagram, in person, it's going to spread like wildfire, and they're going to say, well, maybe it's not as good as. I think we need to go out there and be as positive all get out and say, man, you need to get behind Bossier schools. This is a great, great thing, because we're getting one bite of it.
One second. Mr. Bullard?
Thank you, President. Mr. President. To piggyback somewhat on what Mr. Mr. Van Berg said, that's an inside joke. But seriously, I think we should all think back 7 years. 7 years ago, we put these same two proposals, basically, same two proposals. A tax millage to fund raises, tax millage to fund technology. We put it before the voters, along with our bond proposal. Bond proposal passed, but the other two items were defeated pretty soundly. There was not total unity as we went to the people. There was dissension. And then people came back and said, well, wonder why it didn't pass. And we have employees of this system speaking negatively. We would love to address every interest, but as Mr. Bamberg has already pointed out, you do what you can do, and you try to address as many of the needs as possible. That's where we hope we are right now. We did not have a unanimous vote to even call the election. But I assure you, in the morning, there will be unanimous support from this board. We have our differences, but we have the shared same goal, and that is to better compensate every employee of this school system. So we've all got to come together. May not like it, but hey, this is better than the alternative. Let's come together. Let's go out united. Let's make this one pass.
You got another clap, huh?
Clarify maybe for me, I keep hearing trying to retain teachers in the classroom. Maybe I'm a little bit off base. Who qualifies for $7,200? Not just the people in the classroom. Is that correct?
That's correct. So your certified teachers and above get the 7,200. And again, that the way we've talked about, for the last few months, that gets our teachers, our starting teachers' pay up to where we can compete with DeSoto and Red River and be the #1 parish.
Well, that's something, Mr. President. My vote of opposition is not I'm against the teachers, I'm for the teachers. It's just as long as for the support personnel. So I support this with every inch of my being as far as I'm concerned, getting it passed. I was just hoping and praying we could do a little bit better for our support personnel. And maybe if we can't do it this time, maybe next time we can. But we got to work and get this passed, not fail like we did last time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Any other comments or questions?
Well, I just want to thank President Cheatham. We're up here talking about support personnel, and believe me, I know what the bus drivers do, and they're they are really appreciated by me. But we're also talking about other important people too, and no one's mentioned the secretaries and the custodians, the cafeteria workers, paras. All of those people are just as important as everyone else. They're just as important as it makes the school run. And the reason that the certified people are getting the 7,200 is because they're in the line. I mean, think about it. They're the ones that are accountability. They're the ones that have to face the fire. They're the ones that are all the pressure is really put on for those children. And that's the reason. But we have to be positive, or we're going to have the same thing happen this time that happened last time. And that was because people went out and badmouthed the race. A raise is a raise, and we would love to give everyone the same thing. But we should all be glad that we're trying to give some money to everyone. I wish it was more, but I hope that everyone in this parish, go register. If you're not registered, go register. If you know someone that's not registered, get them registered. But everyone needs to show up that has a stake in this and vote yes, so we can get this done. Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to item 3.02, approval of trip requests.
And these are in order, President.
Thank you. Got a motion by Mr. Buller, second by Mr. Bamberg. Please vote. I think we're voting the second time. It didn't capture the first time. All right, motion carries. Item 4.01, announcements and superintendent's comments.
Thank you again, President Cheatham, Vice President Bamberg, and members of the board, the audience out here, those that are on streaming video. Tonight, I applaud the board for speaking very strongly for the employees of the Bossier Parish school system. Now, everyone needs to know this is a historic pay raise. Historic for our employees. Now, united, we stand and we win. Divided, we will fall and we will not make it. Historic pay raise. This is our only opportunity right here. We have to all get behind this to make it work. If we do not, it could be years before this could come back up again. $3,000 is significant. $7,200 is significant. For the $3,000, for some, it's better than a 15% pay raise. We have to look at it this way. We have so much to be proud of in this school system. When Sonia Bells gets up, almost every board meeting, it speaks about the good news that goes on in Bossier Parish. All the fantastic and wonderful things that are happening. Teachers of the Year for the entire state of Louisiana. Students of the Year. All the great accomplishments that go on every single day that are awarded up there at that podium. And then all the unsung heroes that are not awarded that are doing an amazing job every single day. But if we can't keep up with our pay, if we cannot be competitive, then we will start slipping. We cannot slip. Bossier Parish has always been competitive. You know, we know that we're competitive with benefits. We know that we're competitive with our work environment. But that great piece of the puzzle right here that we have to put together to make it a complete puzzle is that salary part, that salary aspect. We have a chance to make first-year teacher pay by far, greater than anyone around the region. It is very disheartening when prospective teachers will walk past that recruiting table and go straight to the one that's paying a little bit higher. Now, I know that money's not everything, but it speaks loudly a lot of times when we're trying to get the best. We want to retain the best. We want to recruit the best. All of our employees are important. This is a significant amount of dollars for all of our employees. And this is not going to be easy. I want to tell you that. This is not going to be easy. It is going to be a fight, but it's a fight for our profession, for your profession. As I said before, I'm not taking one single penny from this. One single penny. This is about the employees of the Bossier Parish school system and what this board has done tonight. It was a historic vote because it's going to be a historic pay raise. Okay? So we have to get behind this. We have to support it. We have to be for it. We have to get, our educators have to be together. Our business community leaders, we all have to be together on this to keep Bossier Parish #1. This is a great place for people to live, to raise their children, and want their kids going to our schools. And so this is the way to continue that. This board has always been great about staying one step ahead to be able to keep us competitive. And this was a historic vote tonight. And this is a way, and this is only just begun with this vote. And now it truly begins. And we have to all be together. And once again, if we do this, this is going to be great for all of the employees of the Bossier Parish school system. And it'll help you with a livable wage. And once again, to keep the greatest for the kids in the classroom so that they can continue to achieve at the high rate that they do.
Thank you for the sermon. I feel like I just left church, y'all. On that, item 5.01, adjournment of the regular session of the board.
Motion adjourned.
Got a motion by Mr. Slack, a second by Mr. Bullard. Please vote. Meeting is adjourned.